Good morning. Have you noticed that something has been happening among us these past weeks? Quietly but unmistakably, we've remembered that we are held in the great web of life. We've remembered that we belong to one another. Whether you realize it or not, you've already begun to weave. Not someday you will, not when you feel more ready, not when you finally become spiritual enough, enough times. No, already, with every word, every glance, every thought, every moment of presence, your life is sending vibrations into the great living field that holds us all. And the vibrations you've been setting upon the threads of life never start and stop with you. They travel. In our reading from the Gospel of Luke this morning, when Jesus said, "Love your enemies, bless those who curse you, give without expecting return. For the measure that you measure, it will be measured to you." I want to say here that he was not describing moral heroics here, okay? He was not describing your human honey-do list. He was not describing the how to appear holy handbook. He was describing field dynamics. He was revealing something that most people still do not fully understand. The measure you send into life becomes the measure that returns. Measure for measure. Get what you give. It has never been about a reward for piety. And it's never, ever been about punishment for wickedness. It's always been about resonance, right? Life responds to the tone we set. Always. So the question is no longer, am I building a life? Am I building a world? Because you cannot not build. Right? The question is, what is moving through me into the world right now? Is it fear or love? Judgment or compassion? Is it restriction or invitation? Every single moment asks us this, quietly, without demand, and every moment we answer. Without thinking, we answer. Ernest Holmes said something extraordinary in the talk at Asilomar that I quoted in the second reading this morning. Said, what if the divine appears every moment, but only in the way we look? Sit with that. Because it means that we are not merely observers of reality. We're not in the river being rushed along and whisked in whichever direction the current leads. We decide the currents. But until now, we've been unaware that the river of life is ours to command. Holmes said, when something within us aligns, a power is loosed in the universe. He didn't say after something within us aligns, not later on. Now, when it aligns, there's this song that we have sung in this place for, I'm going to say decades, I may be a couple years short of that, and the title is the acronym SACK, S-A-C-K, which sounds like the acronym for our church, right? S-A-C, both are pronounced SACK. And in the song, it stands for simple acts of care and kindness. And there has been, for 3 days, a single line from the song, just the one, moving through my mind. It kind of just showed up in my brain out of nowhere, asking to be heard. And I've been singing it for all these years, not hearing. Maybe it's been waiting for this very moment, this very morning, to be heard. Simple acts of care and kindness put the actions of the world behind us. Acts of care and kindness. The world is not transformed only by grand movements, but by millions of quiet moments of love. Moments that seem small until they ripple outward farther than we will ever see. Now listen carefully, because this part matters. You are not being asked to become a weaver of this great web of life that we've been exploring. You are being shown that you have never been anything else. Feel the tender holiness in that. Not pressure, holiness. Your life touches more life than you will ever know, which means you are never merely passing through this world. Not for a single millisecond, not even now. You are participating in its becoming. Before we go any further, I want to place something in your hands, because this is talk 5 of a series. And talk 5 is where we bring it all home, right? And when you come home, there is always something wonderful waiting for you. So the little bag that you'll be handed, inside there is a dream catcher on a cord. And most of us are familiar with what those are meant to symbolize, right? If you're not, I have to put this in here. If you are not, we may explore it in our next series on the hoop. But I want to gently redefine the purpose of the dream catcher for you today. This is not here to catch your dreams. It is here to remind you every time you see it that you are always catching the world. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every kindness you extend is received throughout the whole web. And what is received responds. Think of a spider web, and I'm going to tread really lightly for anyone who might squirm at even a cute and harmless spider. So the thing that I want us to recognize is that a single vibration on that kind of web travels across instantly, and it alerts the one waiting, inviting it closer. Life is no different. When fear is sent, fear multiplies throughout. When fear is sent, more fear is invited to manifest. When love is sent, love gathers. When love is sent, love is amplified. Love is invited to expand and extend to all. So the invitation is beautifully simple. Become intentional about the signal you carry. You were also given a journal with a pen, a tiny journal, minuscule, really. because I don't want it to feel like homework. It's not meant to be a spiritual chore list. It's meant to be a way to train your sight. Because when you learn to notice what you learn, you can amplify. Write down the moments when love moves. Write down the evidence that we are connected. Write down the beauty you witness and the beauty you create. If you do, soon you will discover something remarkable. Love is already far more active in this world than we are conditioned to see. Now, if you'll look at your little journal and pen, you'll notice that there are really meaningful affirmations on each. Okay, are they specific to you? Perhaps. But regardless of the specificity, they serve a purpose. They remind you to carry words like seeds, because words are not small or unimportant. Words are architects. They build inner worlds. They shape outer ones. Choose them with tenderness. And the little bookmark with the ribbon with that heart-shaped prism, that may be my favorite reminder of all, because it brings us back to our last series on the sacred circle, when we discovered that home is a place we never left and we could never leave. Home in the heart of God is where all is held in love forever. Each thing reflected perfectly. Each reflection making the whole more beautiful. Nothing missing, nothing outside. Yes, that is the deeper spiritual teaching behind the symbol, but there is something more we notice here. Bless you. The prism does not create the beauty we observe when we look at it. It reveals what is already present. So do you. Wherever you go, light becomes visible. Beauty feels a little nearer, not because you forced it, not because of how you appear, not because of anything that the mirror reflects. Beauty has absolutely nothing to do with appearance. Truly. Beauty feels nearer in your presence because something within you naturally reveals beauty and refracts it into the world wherever you go. You, exactly as you are. You are the beauty in every moment. Our last inspirational reading this morning comes from a lovely little Hallmark book from 1971. And I am truly baffled as to how it ended up on my bookshelf. But when I stood in front of my collection last night, it drew my eye. And if a book draws my eye, I pull it. And I can tell you, I don't know if I've ever looked at it before. I truly don't recognize the book. But when I opened it, it said exactly what I had hoped to impart to you today. It said, there is a world to share, as fresh as morning, as bright as sunlight on wide water, as peaceful as prayer. We can walk there together. It didn't say someday, it said now. But hear this clearly. The shared world we long for is built by the signals we choose today. So walk gently in this world, because every step touches the web of life. Speak tenderly, because every word becomes a vibration. And love boldly, generously, and without reservation, because love is the strongest thread we are ever given. You may never know how many lives are steadied because you were kind to one. How many hearts reopened because you were present for one. How much darkness softened because you carried light into a moment without even trying. But that web knows, and it responds. So let this live in you. This world is my world, and I choose to weave it beautiful. Say it with me. This world is my world, and I choose to weave it beautiful. And if you ever wonder whether your small acts matter, remember, the web is not strengthened by one great thread. It is strengthened by millions of nearly invisible ones. Do not be intimidated by the influence you carry. Be honored by it. Because you are not spectators in the miracle of life. You are participants. You are builders. You are luminous threads in a tapestry still being woven. And wherever love moves through you, the world becomes more whole. My friends, if you weave it, they will come. Because love is magnetic, and hearts have always known how to find their way home. Amen.
Amen.